for Fitness Expo. All right, so what we're doing today, we're hosting a panel. Basically, we're going to go over networking, social media branding, and entrepreneurship in the fitness industry. It's a lot, it's a mouthful, but up here we have some very talented personalities. All right, guys, feel free to introduce yourself. To my left.
My name is Kenny Santucci, former television personality turned gym owner, trainer. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Is my mic on?
It's hot.
Hi, I'm Holly Barker, and I am from Canada. I'm a business owner, just moved to Los Angeles. I'm social media influence, I'm an app owner, and all that jazz. Nice to meet you.
And I am Whitney Johns. I live in LA. I'm a trainer and I do online training. I have an app as well. And I love fitness, and that's why we're here. I love Holly also.
I love you. Love you.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to try and keep things rolling here. So first thing we're going to get into is networking. It's always a big thing. I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask, like, how do you network? Why do you network? What's the best way to go about it? Obviously, they're very successful. I created Fittv Network, which we are filming live. And it's a lot of work to do it, but it's very important because it's how you get your brand out there. And I know they've had a lot of experience with it. They've had to go a long way. They've built their brand. So what would you say would be the best way to start as far as networking goes and to build your brand?
Ladies, you want to take this?
I mean, for me, I started networking by just working in a gym to begin with. I was just in the mix, and I met as many people as possible. I was on the floor as much as possible, met as many clients as I could. And then from there, you kind of see the movers and the shakers, and from there opportunities come, and then productivity breeds productivity. So I think you just have to kind of put yourself out there and then be consistent. If you want to be networking on social media, you have to be consistent with your content, and it's just like brick by brick, really.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So can I chime in?
Absolutely.
So number one, I'm a business owner and went to business school. The number one thing that I learned that I took away from business school, if you only learn one thing, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's all networking. And I remember in business school, I was always scared of going to networking events and really kind of shy and introverted and didn't like to talk to people. So that's why I found comfort in numbers. But then when you open yourself up into the world and expose yourself and ask the world what you really want from it, then you start aligning yourself with the right people. You start leveling up. And so it's all about just actually getting out there and showing up. Even if it's as hard as just getting there, you are ahead of the game. So once you're there, then showing up and putting yourself in front of the right people, just even being here at this event, there's so many people that could literally change your life if they see potential in you. But they're not going to see potential in you if you're not your true authentic self. So that's just showing up and being yourself. And like Whitney said, consistency beats frequency always with everything that you do in life. If you can show up for yourself every single day consistently, then you're going to bleed whatever opportunity you want, and just simply by putting it out into the world.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off that as well. I think having the idea that you need to care about not just yourself but other people, and I think the first thing that when you're networking is trying to do what's best for that other person so they want to do the same for you. Helping each other out and building together. And if you give a shit about what somebody else is getting out of you networking with them, I think it'll leverage both of you to become better.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, a lot of times I think we kind of get caught up in ourselves, and you almost think selfishly sometimes, but you also have to remember that, there's always another side to it. So you got to realize, what are you bringing to the other person? What value are you offering in both directions? So that's definitely a big point that I always remember. And also, I mean, one of the biggest things with networking, obviously, not only to do it, but is how to do it. What's the best way to approach it? Because there are some times where it's not the best event or best setting, or even just knowing how to send out an email. How did you guys learn how to essentially, just walk up to someone and say hello? How do you get that courage? How do you, I guess the best way is, how do you start?
You want to go? I think just showing them what you could offer them, and obviously being as honest and as transparent as possible. Obviously, most people you want to network with, most of the time don't need anything from you. But if you show that you're genuine and you show that you really care about what they're doing and you admire them. Obviously, most people you want to network with, you probably have some sort of feelings towards. You like them, you admire them in some way. And I think when that kind of shines through, when you show people that you really care about their product and want to be a part of their brand and share the experience of their brand, I think most genuine people would say, all right, yeah, I'd love to help you out, or I'd love to work with you or continue this relationship or conversation. So, yeah, just being straight up with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I'm a big fan of like planting seeds. So you're really developing the relationship from a very organic place, like just getting to know them first before, some people put too much pressure on themselves. Like I have to come with this elevator pitch or something. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just meeting the person, connecting with them on a relationship level and nurturing that relationship. And then from there, the opportunities come naturally. And then it never has to feel like an uncomfortable interaction or an uncomfortable sales pitch. So that's kind of like my favorite approach. I don't like salesy, like I'm kind of chicken when it comes to that kind of stuff. But if it happens organically, I feel like those are where the best opportunities stem from.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you continuously build your value with everything that you do, so even if you're asking for an opportunity right now, you're asking this person, you're like, yeah, I really want a sponsorship, or I really want this business opportunity, or I've got this product that I want somebody to endorse, and you go and ask for that and it's no, continuously training yourself to, if it's no now, if it's a yes that you ultimately want, it's just a no for now. It's not a no, definitely. So if you continuously build your value, then those yeses will come. So really, when you wake up and when you're going out there and you're reaching for those opportunities, no's are blessings because you weren't ready for that yes. So with every single no, you were closer and closer and closer to getting your yes, getting that opportunity, and then opportunities that you couldn't even dream that would transpire. But because you're putting yourself out there, it's like, hey, I'm not so scared of no anymore. What else can I accomplish?
Yeah, I would agree. That's a big thing. You got to develop the thick skin. And I mean, there's numerous times where I've been told no, or we'll see, or just not sure, right? And then you keep going, you keep pushing, and things turn out even better than you expect. That's happened numerous times, and I think that's the biggest thing. And it's hard at the time, especially when something doesn't work out the way you want. It's easy to get discouraged and man, it sucks. But at the same time, everything happens for a reason. And not to sound cheesy, but I think it leads you to something better, and it makes you stronger, and you learn from it. Always try to learn from it.
You got to get used to the no's because they come a lot more often than the
absolutely.
yeses, for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? No's are amazing because it means that you're asking the question. If you're not hearing anything, then you're not asking questions. The best thing that you can be doing is asking for it. With sales, like everything, I don't like sales either, but everything in life is sales. Everything in life is business. If you don't treat it that way, then you're going to continuously be let down, and you're not really even going to be knowing what you're wanting because you're not going to know how to ask the world for what you want.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and a lot of this too ties into obviously your branding and how you're presenting yourself and your image and what direction you want to go. And it's important to figure that out. And it takes, some people a long time to figure that out. It's hard, especially in the fitness industry. There's so many people trying to do so many different crazy things with fitness, right? And I guess personally, you have to find your niche and what makes sense to you if you're trying to fit in this box of like, I want to be this fitness person because that's what's cool. I think people are going to see right through that. You know what I mean? It's not genuine and you're not going to be happy. So social media branding, that's a huge thing, especially nowadays with everything is social media. You know what I mean? And for you guys, you guys are killing it social media wise. How'd you guys come and, figure out the little technique behind all that?
So with me, it's been the power of the pivot, because learning what worked at the time and continuously, you have momentum. What you can build is momentum, but then learning that at any point in time that will not work anymore, that you need to be on top of your game, you need to be educated, and then you need to always be true to who you are and what you believe at the time. And even if it's not the what will be your end goal, and you learn a lesson, then you can always pivot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think being able to adapt to what's going on, I was more relevant before social media was a thing. I was actually on television at one point in time, and the growth of social media, I was on to another chapter in my life. I started my fitness journey, and to try to change over was pretty hard, but you need to be able to adapt, you need to be able to change, and it might not be the way you want it to be, but it's the way it is. So
Yeah, I think consistency and authenticity, and like you said, it will change for you depending on who you are day to day or what message you want to portray to the world about your brand. You have to always be cognizant of what is true for you and also how other people are also perceiving you, because I think there's a balance between both, and you have to take both into consideration, and then just consistently create content, consistently be developing relationships and collaborations and stuff like that. That's the way to really organically resonate with people and reach people.
So with successful social media branding, obviously comes a lot of opportunities. That being brands approach you, people approach you, all kinds of craziness. So how do you handle when a brand approaches you, and maybe it's not necessarily someone that you're interested in or you didn't even know about? What's your approach usually when they send you an offer or reach out to you?
Again, I think it's just being genuine. If it's a product I would never use, I'm not a big supplement guy, so I don't really push a lot of supplement brands. But if it's a product that I use, those are the ones that I want to endorse. Most of the time, their values and beliefs and whatever they're pushing probably align with yours if you're already using the product. So I would try to lean towards using more of the stuff that you want to be associated with rather than some brand that approaches you. I mean, they probably have opportunity than I've ever gotten, but with larger supplement brands, I just never really took them, so I never got involved with them.
Right.
Yeah, I think like with those, you have to be mindful of the ones that you align yourself with, because you have to remember a lot of your followers will actually, there's some that follow everything you do and know so much about you, and they know what you would actually really genuinely be interested in, and so they can sniff it out if you're selling out and like just taking a deal because the money's good, and they're like, well, she just lost credibility in my eyes because I know that doesn't actually resonate with her. So you have to protect that, I think.
Absolutely, you're your own stock value. So with everything that you do, you have to be increasing your stock value, and then as you climb, then exchanging that stock value and your reputation, your namesake, your investment, that's when it becomes, okay, the power shifts, and who do you want to align with? Who do you want to provide value to? Because at the end of the day, a lot of the time, value meeting value doesn't necessarily mean money meeting money. It's a growth cycle together.
Synergy. Yeah, so and I agree too, and I think a lot of it, and I guess goes back to what Kenny said, is being genuine in how you respond, because obviously you don't want to burn bridges, and you don't want to come off like a dick, you know what I mean? So it's just approaching it the right way, responding the right way, and I guess with respect and as professional as possible. Because again, there's going to be, I've had brands, especially recently, that have hit me up, and I'm not interested, but I appreciate it, and I do appreciate that. So it's just on the approach and how you respond. Very important.
I think being proactive too. It's like reaching out to the brands that you want to be associated with. And then when they see you already have some of your own stuff, then they're probably not going to approach you anyway. But I would be proactive. I like reaching out to brands that I like.
So what advice would you offer someone that's maybe just, I don't think anybody's really just getting started social media wise, but someone that's really trying to build up their social media and their presence and their brand? What would be a good start?
I think those things come as you go. If you're already using a product, if I'm wearing Lululemon pants all the time and you want to align yourself with Lululemon, go to your local Lululemon, wear Lululemon, approach them that way. Show your brand loyalty, and I think that's how you can align yourself with them. Don't reach out to someone and be like, hey, I'm trying to be an influencer.
Right.
I don't think anybody should try to be an influencer. I think you're doing something right, and we could all notice that, and people start to gravitate towards you. When people are like, I'm an influencer, it's like, what the fuck are you influencing?
Yeah,
I agree. Yes.
And totally, when you're just starting out, like the goal, you are the constant. So what do you stand for? What is your message? And it's simple. Like, it's just create a business plan about you. You start with you. What is your mission? What is your vision? Like, what is your message? What are you trying to display out into the world? Because if you're just trying to slut yourself out to every company, then that gets old really, really quick, and there's no longevity in that. So if you can create who you are, what brand it is that you are, and not think product first or even fitness first, it's you as yourself, and then you start to attract the right people, because what do you authentically do? You are your own avatar.
I think a big part of it is taking it from where you're going to add value to your followers. So like thinking of a way of how am I going to help my followers? How am I going to better them? What can I teach them? What can they learn from me? Instead of how can I get attention?
How can I get free stuff?
Yeah, how can I get free shit? How can I get more money? How can, I get more likes? It's more about, can I add value to my followers' lives and do that in a way that, resonates with people, with them. So getting to know who your followers are and who really does, who is like your loyal following and loyal fans, and speaking to them, it's kind of like serving them more than yourself. And then people love that. They respond to that.
Yeah, and it's like the saying goes, it's better to have a core, strong following than a mass of kind of bandwagon people. You want to build that core that's going to stick with you, because those are the ones that are going to go with you through your ups and downs, support you with whatever you're doing, whether you're on TV or not, that's the biggest thing, is just be genuine, focus on the people that truly care about you and your product, as opposed to the mass audience, because if you're doing something right and real, that's going to happen anyways. So definitely focus on that. And that leads, the whole aspect of that is just being an entrepreneur in general, and like you were saying, Holly, I think it's a matter of finding your niche, and that's the biggest thing as an entrepreneur, is find your niche, what you're passionate about, what you love, and that's something that you have to obviously know within yourself. Whatever your niche is, how you find that's up to you. It's going to be hard, and it's one of those things, you're going to have your ups and downs, but if you love it, you're passionate about it, that's the thing you got to do. So me personally, I've had a lot of ups and downs. I was a professional musician, obviously fitness, done a lot of stuff, but I had to keep going, and that's what you do. If you love it, it'll all work out in the end. And I'm sure you guys have many stories of stuff that you've gone through on your journey as well.
Yeah, I think just doing what you would do if there was no money involved.
Right.
I always say, if you just operate under that mentality, the money is a byproduct of whatever you really like doing. Whether I was just watched a documentary the other day about people who make millions of dollars playing fucking video games.
It's crazy.
My mother used to get so mad that I played video games all the time, and I'm like, I didn't know you could make a whole lot of money doing this.
Damn it, Mom.
I would have stuck with that. Way easier. They're making millions just playing video games. I was pretty decent at Madden about 10 years ago.
Hey, I missed that ship too, dude. Holly?
Yeah, no, totally. Just doing stuff that is that makes you happy. That's, at the end of the day, my sole purpose is my smile. And if you're chasing money, which a lot of the time life can be about chasing money, chasing payment of bills, chasing fear of missing out, when the power of the scroll. I've written an article on practicing gratitude, and really, you get to design your own life. You get to design what you see. Right now, we have, as the consumer, we have the power to be influenced by what we choose. And so if things aren't making you happy, if things aren't empowering you, if you're not waking up and watching The Rock's Instagram,
yes, that dude
seriously,
can read the phone book and be motivational.
Saying, yes, you can, because we're in the power of whatever you want, you can accomplish it. It's seriously, that motivates me.
Yeah, I think it's important to do what you enjoy, because no matter what, it's a grind. That's the world we live in now. So you better like what you're doing. And for me, I had to approach my career when I decided to get into fitness. It was what would I do, feast or famine? What would be a labor of love, just because I love it? And if I wasn't making a lot of money, it would still be what I would be doing every day. And then now, I literally work day and night, and there's never really an hour or day off, but it's what I love. So thank God I love it. If not, you're never going to be successful, and your life's going to feel like hell, because no matter what, you've got to work. That's the world we live in. So pick something that you're going to enjoy being in the trenches for.
And that's something you mentioned, Whitney, is being an entrepreneur. You're not going to have a 40-hour work week. You're not going to have a set schedule. It's going to be crazy. You're going to have those late nights, early mornings, 2 hours of sleep. It's going to be one of those things. You're probably going to work a whole lot more than you're getting paid for, at least early on in the beginning. And you're going to feel like, man, this sucks. You're going to question yourself. But at the end of the day, like you guys said, if it's something you love, it's always going to be worth it. And if you keep pushing, it's going to.
If it's something that you love, and then you learn how to scale it, and then all of a sudden your hour, instead of being a $20 hour, can be $1,000 hour. Like, really, the sky is the limit when you think about things strategically. And instead of saying I have to do this, you change that mindset into I get to do this so that I can create this and live the life that I want, because none of us are promised tomorrow. And I don't mean to sound cliche, but everything is a cliche. If you seriously, we're in the land of opportunity. If you want something, create a plan, align yourself with the right people, start liking those people's photos, interacting. Those people, as you know, they're not just people online. We're real. We are here, and we're working really, really hard to get to that next level. And there's 0 degrees of separation between those people that are down here that want to get up there. Really.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to follow some blueprint. Like, everybody wants to be the next Whitney, or everybody wants to be the next Rock. But I just do your own stuff. I always hated the nutrition aspect of fitness, right? I love working out, and I went out last night and crushed 6 beers. Because I don't give a shit about macros, but it doesn't make me a worse coach. It doesn't make me a bad trainer. It doesn't make me a bad gym owner. It's no, there's a million people out here who are I wish I could have a beer. Fucking have a beer. It's totally okay. Live that life. Write your own blueprint. Don't worry about what somebody else did. I'm a Michelob Ultra ambassador. People are like, how'd you get that? I'm like, well, I just showed that I like having a beer every once in a while, and I like training, because there's a massive demographic of people out there who still want to live a normal life. I look around, I'm like, man, everybody's got great abs. I don't, but it's all right. I'm still making a living.
I think that's the biggest thing, though, man. It's being human. And I mean, there are those people that are completely fine with that meal prep every day and every week count every. I mean, if that's your thing,
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work
cool.
for me.
Then absolutely, then own it. That's the biggest thing, is owning it. You know what I mean?
Own
I'm
what you
guilty,
do.
dude. I had beers last night as well. But you got to understand who you are, your personality, and what you can handle, and that's really what it is. And like you said, I'm very big on. I hate when people say, "Oh, what if it doesn't work out?" or "What if this happens?" or "No way, that can't happen." Why? I always wonder, why? Why can't that happen? Why can't you do that? Why isn't this possible? I mean, look at all these brands here. They started somewhere. At one day they were nothing, or people were laughing at them, or they didn't take them serious. I can tell you numerous brands here that I've seen early on when they first started, to seeing them now, and it's crazy. It's so crazy. So that's something personally I'm very passionate about, and I'm not trying to sound cheesy, but it just really gets me going when people just do not believe in what they're capable of, because really we are in control of our own life. We really are. Yeah. I've been told early on when I started with music, it's not going to happen. Good luck. Yeah, right. And I did it. I traveled the country. I performed with some of my favorite artists. I've been on TV, radio, magazines. I did all of that. Because why? Because I wanted to. This guy, same thing, TV. These girls do crazy things because they believe in it, because they want to do it. And that's the truth. It's you control your own destiny. So that's the biggest thing. You're going to have to really push and grind. But if it's what you want, it's going to be worth it in the end. I promise you that.
Not being afraid to fail. Attempt something and be like, I don't care if this fails, because even all the little menial tasks and all the hard work and all the day-to-day grind that you had to do for that failure to happen was not a waste, because it's like an education, but more valuable, because it's like life's education. All those things that you did leading up to that failure are some sort of skill that you're going to use in your future success. So really, you just sharpen your knife. You just got better and more skilled as a person and as a business person, and ready for your next venture. So don't be afraid of that.
I try to never call it failure. I opened my first gym back in 2012 and completely bombed it. Not just so much the business, the gym itself, but the business side of it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was an idiot with a pen. I just signed my life away and did 100 stupid things that I shouldn't have done. but I didn't go to Harvard Business School, but I went to School of Hard Knocks, and I learned, all right, yeah, don't spend 80 grand building a gym out with 2 idiots, you know? So I put myself up against most guys who went to a good business school, because I'm like, well, I fucked up all that stuff in real life, so I'll never do that again. So it's a learning process. Like, everybody wants to call it failure. I don't think it's much failure. That's how you learn. That's your learning curve. So
absolutely. Kenny, you talk about obviously your hardship with the gym. I mean, I've gone through a lot. I mean, early on as well. You know what I mean? I've gone through times to where, you know, we were with the label, we've lost members, we were, you know, at tough times with tours. We've had literally crossing country, had to back out of shows, stuff. I mean, it's crazy. There's hard times, but we've all faced that, right? And I'm curious to know, like, what is one of the times that you've gone through and what is something that helped you actually get through that time? Yes.
Yeah, business every single day. I'm humbled. Like, so in 2010, I opened my first gym. 2000 it did really, really well. 2011 opened the second one. Then so I owned 4 gyms. Had kind of a lull, like learning things out from one business to business. It's like a learning curve, right? Then the one, like always, was a rock star. Then all of a sudden, 6 big box gyms opened up, like literally on our doorstep. So it was a very quick realization where you think that your clients are like your friends and stuff like that, but then all of a sudden these members are leaving your door. One of our clubs went, like, literally lost 50% of its members in, like, over the course of 6 months. So moved provinces, opened 2 more gyms. So just like the realization of diversification and always protecting yourself from competition, and like I could write a book on all the little lessons that have been kind of like really expensive lessons, but at the end of the day, it's all money, and it's only money. And when you learn how to make money, it's easy to make money. You can always find more money. The realization of being an entrepreneur and getting up and actually making a difference to other people's lives, creating the spot where people can better themselves in a facility, and making a difference on your bottom line, that drives me. So I love entrepreneurship, even though it is, a lot of the lessons are hard, but they're like so humbling, knowing that it's really you executing that can make a failure a learning lesson and actually a positive.
Yeah, I mean, failures, I've had like 1,000, but one that I can think of off the top of my head is, I remember when I first started out in fitness, and I was just like a trainer every day, you know, training clients all day, every day. Didn't have much of a social media presence, but I wanted to, and I wanted to have a larger sphere of influence. And I had an opportunity to shoot a series of workout videos. Follow along workout videos. I had, I kind of scraped the project together. I didn't have a lot of on-camera experience. I saw the footage and I was like, oh my God, like that was horrible. I didn't do well. I didn't know what I was doing, but everything that the team that I worked with didn't really know what they were doing, but everything that I did during that period, and those like kind of painful lessons to look, to watch yourself where you're like, oh my God, that was painful. Like I have to improve. It cemented that into my brain on where I needed to sharpen my skills. And then, all these other projects that I've been doing lately, I actually thought back the other day as I was shooting some videos, workout videos, and I thought about how far I had come and some of the things that I had learned specifically from that shoot that was a total fail that served me on those, other projects that I was doing. So it's like, the pain really does cement the skills into your brain. So don't be afraid of it. That's sometimes the only way to learn. Maybe I would have never gotten better had I not had that bad experience. But I didn't give up. I didn't say I'll never do well on camera. I'll never do well in that kind of a project. I just kept trying. So.
And Kenny, you talk about an $80,000 mistake. How did you recover from that, man?
Well, there's 2 ways you could look at it. One, you could kind of just give up, crawl in a hole or try to do something else. Or 2, you could kind of just grind it out and push on. I kind of lost my gym, and then everything that becomes a legal issue where you have to, when you go through something like that, it's not just like it ends. You have to go through all the legal bullshit, which costs more money. But yeah, just put my head down, went to, and kind of swallowed my pride, and then worked for somebody else for 2 years, and kind of built back up some cash, and then slowly took over that gym. So that's where I'm at right now. But when you show somebody you care more than they do, you could overcome that stuff. But yeah, it took a while, and it took a lot of shit eating, I like to call it, because that's basically what you're doing. Because I went from owning my own gym to now working for somebody else again, and I hated that, but I understood a lot, and I helped these guys open up a gym, and eventually they really got into the gym world because they thought it was cool. They didn't really care about the gym space too much, and I just showed I cared a lot more than they did. And then one thing led to another, and kind of took over their space. So that's kind of how I got out of it. But I worked morning, noon, and night. I literally slept in my car. I was living in Jersey at the time. Slept in my car in New York, right outside the gym. Worked all morning, worked all night, covered every possible class I could, to the point where it's like they couldn't ignore the fact that I was more important to the business than they were. And it's hard work.
Absolutely, that's what it comes down to, is hard work, man. And you touched on eating shit and having to do things that you don't want to do, and that's a lot of successful entrepreneurs that I've spoken with. One of the biggest things they talk about is learning humility.
Yeah.
You have to be open to humility. You have to put your pride aside sometimes, and you have to grind, man. You're going to do things that you don't necessarily want to do sometimes. You might have to work a shitty job. You might have to do whatever it takes. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to be willing to put in that work and just grind it out to do what you really want to do. Similar story, when I started, obviously, when things crashed and burned with the band, I was kind of lost. Music was my life for 8 years. I did that, and then I didn't know what to do after that. So I went through countless jobs, from I worked in a warehouse to I did marketing. I worked at a marketing agency. I've never been the suit and tie kind of guy, in case you guys can't tell. So that didn't work out too well until finally I was just like, you know what? One day I decided, no, I'm going to do what I love. I got to go back to doing what I love. Entertainment's my passion. That's my life. So I just made that decision. It was scary at first, but now that's what I get to do. I get to do fitness and entertainment every day of my life. That's my job. And it took a long time to get there. That's just a nutshell, but you got to be willing to do those things, man. And you got to just grind and, wake up every day and say, hey, this isn't the end. This is just what I got to do to get me where I want to go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody here could kind of relate to this. The worst thing you hate, the only thing that everyone hates doing in the gym is putting their shit away, right? Nobody wants to put their dumbbells away. I just want to leave them on the floor.
Gym etiquette, dude. That's the rule.
That was my job for 2 years. I was putting weights away, and I'm like, this sucks.
I love it because it's like a free workout.
Oh, no. I went from being on television to putting dumbbells away. I'm like, I hate this. I wish somebody else cleaned this shit up.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, when I decided finally, okay, I'm going to do fitness full time, and I want to do that as my profession. I was working bottle service. I was going to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I was working a sales job that I would have to go to the office at 9 a.m., work during the day, and then studying for my NASM to get my certification for personal training at night. So I was literally just grinding my ass off. And I probably did that, juggling those three for a year. And then once I started actually working at a gym as a trainer, I was still doing bottle service, and I was waking up super early for clients and just getting kind of burning the candle at both ends. But I knew, okay, I'm going to go through hell for a year or two, and it's going to pay off exponentially. So just knowing that sometimes that pain is temporary, and just gritting your teeth and doing it, and then eventually you're going to get to a place where, yeah, the grind still doesn't stop, and it hasn't. I still am juggling a lot of things, but now it's the stuff that I love to do. I'm not in the club serving drinks. I'm not doing the stuff that I'm not passionate about, and I enjoy that grind now. So.
And just to kind of tie all this up and wrap it up to basically what we're saying, as an entrepreneur as well, is, taking those chances and having it all pay off. Funny story is that, I watched this guy on TV. Funniest thing, I've worked with...
You're aging yourself. And me.
Sorry. But, it's a small world, and a lot of the guys that are on TV with him, which I'm now friends with, and here we are today doing this, which is crazy. It's just crazy how it works out. Holly, we randomly met at Olympia, because I went for her, we approached her. Yes, we kind of, ran into each other. Whitney, we have similar friends, but same thing. I reached out to Whitney, but it's just one of those things that you got to just take those chances. You got to put yourself out there, and you never know what's going to happen, because here we are today working together, and had I not taken that step to do so, this wouldn't have happened, right? So that's basically what the biggest thing is, to just go for it. If you really want to do it, go for it.
Cool. Yeah.
Any advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of having the balls to just go out there and do what you want to do. I remember being told that I was the worst employee in the world. My old boss was like, "You're never going to amount to shit. You're the worst employee. You're always late." I didn't have to be at work till 10 o'clock. I was always late. I'm like, this is horrible.
Said the same boss, dude.
Yeah, I was like, this is never going to work out for me. I'm going to be a degenerate my whole life. And now owning a gym and loving what I do, I'm the first one there in the morning. I'm there at 5 o'clock, and I love it. Like, I think just finding what you want to do, chase that, what feels good. Because you're always going to be better at that than the shit you don't want to do, right? I think a lot of people see, us up here, all these people out there. If they're not doing what they love, eventually they're going to burn out. I think one of us said that. You're going to burn out. You're not going to enjoy your daily grind. If you're enjoying your daily grind, because at the end of the day, it's like after Instagram turns off and it's no longer a thing, you're still going to do what you have to do. And if you're doing it to take pictures and somebody to slide into your DMs, which I don't mind, but if that's why you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You got to enjoy it. You got to get up in the morning and enjoy servicing, because we're all servicing people here, whether you're servicing people through building out programming for them, or you're driving an Uber. You want to be the best at what you're doing. If you're shoveling shit, be really good at it, because it's only going to take you further. Somebody's going to notice how good you are and want to help you out.
Yeah, everything that you do, it's your life that you're exchanging. It's like, that's the most powerful thing that I can even think about. Like, every moment that you invest in, it's an investment, and everything that you are touched by throughout your entire day, that's influencing you. What you listen to, what you speak, what you say, you hear in your mind first. So saying that you can't, you're never going to. Why not, instead of asking why, say why not, and just go for it.
Preach.
Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for those of you that paid attention, listening. I appreciate it. Especially thank you guys for coming up here and doing this. I really appreciate it, sharing your stories and experiences. Where can we find you guys?
Instagram at Whitney Johns or whitneyjohns.com.
I'm Hallsbarks Fitness.
At Kenny Santucci, or if you're ever in New York, I have a little space called Solace New York, so please feel free to stop by. If you said you were here, I'll let you come in for free. Good night, Detroit! I always wanted to do that.
And if you care, you can find me at David Punkar Christopher on Instagram. Definitely check out Fittv Network, where we have more interviews like this and a bunch of awesome content. Thank you guys so much. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So wait, what did you play?
Guitar.
Yeah. Monday.
Sorry, I completely forgot. Anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Going once. Going twice. Sold to the man in the front row with the ripped jeans.
All right, yes, sir. Coming up.
All right, so this is like for anyone that could help me answer the question. So
A little closer.
All right, so this is for like anyone that could help me answer the question. I'm a personal trainer in Las Vegas. I just moved from Jersey, actually, to Vegas.
Yeah, Jersey. Where in Jersey?
North Plainfield, like Bridgewater, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I know where that is. I'm from Jersey. Worked at Port Elizabeth. That's where I was told I was the worst employee in the world.
Yeah, so basically just moved out here for like, better cost of living and stuff like that. Because Jersey's like super high. But anyways, I have a few clients. And I work for LVAC in Las Vegas. I'm a personal trainer there. I have a few clients just started. I have a few friends that I'm doing online coaching from New Jersey. But I really want to expand more on like online coaching business. And I wanted to do that like as a full time, because I can definitely see myself like being more independent, not being like on a set schedule, and being like more flexible with all that. So how would I go about like, transitioning from like just being like a regular personal trainer into like a full-time independent like online fitness coach?
did online programming. I mean, now I have an app, so it's a little more streamlined. But before I had my app built out, I was writing programs, diet and training plans for people, PDF, email, and I customized it to everyone. I would say, I bottled up the research that I would do with my one-on-one clients in person and all the questions and the information that I needed to know about them, and I bottled it up, put it in a questionnaire, tried to get as detailed as possible from the clients to really see what they wanted, really see what the goals are, what their limitations are, their injuries and all that, and then just structure it from there. And then you have to build kind of a database to make it more efficient, so you have to build templates for yourself that you can tweak as you customize it and be really super organized. But you have to find a good way to market yourself as a coach. So whether that's through social media or if you're going to pay for ads on Facebook or whatever, you have to have not only your plans down and your information and your knowledge base that you're giving people, but like your marketing plan. Because if you don't have the way to market it, you're not going to go anywhere with that. So it's a business, it's an online business, and then you already have the skills as a trainer, have confidence in that, and just figure out a way to reach people that will actually think that you know what you're talking about.
Totally. And so with that, I would say don't try to be everything to everybody. Find your niche. And so with that, a big thing of what I do a lot of business mentorship with fitness. So creating your avatar, who is it that you want to reach? What is that person? What's their name? What do they smell like? Where do they shop? Go create that one person and then create everything that one person wants, and just give them so much value. If you give them value and then give them stuff for free, and so instead of being something like just another online trainer where you provide everything, well, this person wants this, so I can do that, and this person wants this, so I can do that, then you all of a sudden just being from there, then you're elite, you're professional, you're so niched, and you're a master of that. All you need is 5 to 10 people that are really, really, really happy, and then you can really you can invest in yourself to be the best. Because trying to be the best to everybody, you're never going to be the best. So just trying to be best at one thing that you can really do, and then you scale it. You learn how to do it really, really good, and then you scale it so that it's not your time that you're selling, it's your value.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I'm more personal training. I like interacting with people. I like being face-to-face. I don't really have much of an online presence, although I do some marketing for the gym locally. There are companies that you could hit up, 321 Go. There's another one, I forget the name of it, but you could target market to the people you're trying to help out. And I think there's a lot of, just piggybacking off of what she says, everybody wants to be the boxing coach, the cycling coach, the running coach. Just pick what you're good at. What do you naturally do? I did triathlons my whole life, so I do a lot of whether I help people out personally or if I do stuff online, people reach out to me about triathlons because that's what I did. That's what I naturally gravitated towards. Be true to who you are. Don't come out and be well, I'm a strength coach and a boxing coach and this and that. Whatever you're really good at, that's what you're going to be the best at teaching. And it's not saying that you can't evolve over time and develop something else or start to practice some other skill, but be really good at that one thing and teach people that, because then people will kind of come to you and be well, I know this guy does this really well, and you'll get referrals. I mean, marketing and kind of working with other people who do the same thing. If you're in that same world, I know 100 other guys who are triathletes and marathon runners. So if they're ever in New York, I help them out, they help me out. Start to live in the world you want to be in. Don't say you want to be a musician, but never pick up a fucking guitar.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just chime with you on that too, man. Just what Kenny was saying, just own your space, man, in the sense of doing what you're good at. That's the biggest thing, man, because like you said, there's so many people out there competing for the same thing. If you want to be online training, then just attack the online training. Like specifically, plan out what you want to offer, how you want it to look, what you're going to do, and just focus like full-heartedly on that and just attack that. Because no matter what you do, you're always going to have delegate time. Obviously, you got to pay your bills, you got to have client. I get that, but make sure that you're also still devoting that time for your end goal. You know what I mean? Make sure you're doing that, and little by little, it'll start climbing, man. But just go full force with it.
I mean, listen, I give you a lot of credit for moving out here and not having much of anything to support you. Sleeping in your car definitely sucks. You know, sleeping on couches definitely sucks. But I think if you're not wasting your time doing other stuff, flipping burgers or serving drinks or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, I know you got to pay the bills, but devote every hour you can to doing what you want to do. Because the more time you spend doing that, the closer you're going to get to where you want to be.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we got time for one more question. Yes, sir.
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for everything. I really like it. Excuse my English. I'm from Paris. I'm not a citizen. So I just wanted to know, how do you get to know your followers on Instagram? How do you get to know your followers on Instagram?
I interact with my followers every single day. So the people that comment, the people I comment, I try to comment back to every single comment. I try to comment back to messages. I live stream, so I actually engage live with my followers. Events like this, you find new friends every single event that you go to. Going to the gym, then it's all of a sudden Instagram. So Instagram is just like, it's a conversation, and that's how I interact. And I try to be authentic to myself and continuously provide content that I get bored easily, so I like to constantly create new characters and find out who I am and go through this whole adventure of life. And those that have stuck with me, they understand me and I'm loyal to them. So that's how I engage.
Yeah, I think engaging with them and then going and like, especially the ones that strike a nerve with you or that say something meaningful to you, or you can tell that they are really truly tuned into who you are as a person, go check out their page, see what their life is like, go like their photos. You know, I try to do that as much as possible to get a taste of what they're like. You know, like, why does this person resonate with me? Why do I resonate with them? See what their life is like, and it also helps you cater your audience. Like when you're creating content, then you actually have someone that you have in mind. Reach, but yeah, commenting back, talking, DMing. There's a lot of people there that you got to, spend your time wisely, and there's some people that just, it's not really the smartest use of your time if they're trying to, I don't know, hit on you or something. But people that are genuinely interested in your mission and like what you're doing, engage with them. They're the most valuable, loyal people you can find online. So,
well, I'll call a spade a spade. I mean, there's a lot of weirdos on the internet. I mean, people sliding in your shit for all different types of reasons. Half the people follow you because of what you look like, and other people follow you because they're like, I think I got a chance, and then other people actually give a shit what you're doing. And I think the people who care about what you're doing will start to gravitate towards you and reach out to you. And I think just answering them as if they were a friend of yours or somebody you met on the street. But yeah, I mean, if you have 200,000 followers, I'd say 500 of them are going to really connect with you and really want to know what you're doing. And I think those are the ones you'll end up engaging with. I try not to engage with people who are just wasting your time, send you, nudes and stuff like that, which you can accept. It's okay. There's not a law against you. But I think just engaging with the ones who genuinely care about what you're doing. And I think they'll come to you, and just like you'll go to somebody you admire.
Yeah, I guess you pretty much said it all. Piggyback off you guys. I mean, clearly they have a way bigger following than I do, and they probably get both of us. But then I'm sure you guys get crazier engagement than we get as women, But I mean, for me personally, the biggest thing I try to do is the same thing. Is just be genuine and always just try and engage. The biggest thing is engagement. Always try to respond. Obviously, there's going to be weirdos, there's going to be trolls. That's different. But the people that are genuinely there, that are taking the time to comment, to write, because they are taking their time to do that. They are following what you're doing. It's the same thing, for me personally too. If like something that I admire, if they responded to me, I'd be stoked. You know what I mean? Like I look up to Sylvester Stallone. If he ever responded to me, I'd be stoked. So who knows
I slid
if
into those DMs before.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, so you never know if like you're doing that for them. So the biggest thing is just be cool, man. Just be genuine and just respond. It doesn't take that much to do that.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like anybody I've ever reached out to that I admire and they respond to me, it's like, oh wow. And if they don't, I'm like, what a dick. So always respond to the people who reach out to you.
Unfollow, block.
Yeah.
And he has like 4,000 comments. You're like, didn't respond to mine.
What an asshole.
Right. So I hope that helps, man. And thank you so much for your question. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Hope it was insightful. And definitely, hopefully, you keep in touch with us online. We'll talk to you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.